you my message. Said you had a mighty important announcement to make. That's right. If you figure to turn this into a peace powwow, you wasted your time. Well, I'm leaving that to your own common sense. Come on in. Sit down and make yourselves comfortable. We've got to wait for another man. When I call a man a liar and a thief, I want to say it to his face. Did you drag all of us over here to help you settle a private quarrel? It's the quarrel of every honest man in the valley. A man we've trusted and called friend has been the cause of all this senseless fighting amongst us ranchers. It's not hard to start a range war. A calf and its mother with different brands. A herd drifted at night over on another man's range. That don't make sense. Why should anyone go out of his way to promote trouble? Because he's working with Matt Malone and that flock of crooks roosting in Wagon Wheel Gap. We're pretty soft pickings for rustlers right now, but we could clean up that whole rotten mess in no time if you fellows weren't so busy fighting amongst yourselves. It cost me the life of one of my boys to find out who was back of all of this, and that man is... That shot came from the outside. No mistaking that horse. Belongs to Tom Cameron, the lone rider. Some of you will go after him. The rest of you come with me. We'll see how bad Jim is hurt. Excitement. Jim has been killed. Tom Cameron sneaked up the window and shot him. Kind of figured something like that might happen. Jim had a quarrel with Cameron. It ain't my feud, but I don't hold with shooting a man in the back. And I'll help the law hang him. I don't know that Jim had any kinfolks. I wonder what will happen to the Diamond J.B. brand. Well, I've been foreman around here for quite a long while, and Jim always kind of hinted that I might own it someday. He might have left a will. I'll look and see. This looks like it might be something of the kind. Yep, last will and testament. Being of sound mind and body, but not knowing when I might stop a chunk of lead, I do on this day forth here good. Yeah, here we are. I leave the Diamond J.B. Ranch, lock, stock, and barrel, to my niece, Georgia Deering. You ain't reading that right. I'm reading what's written down here. So it looks like you counted your chickens before they're hatched. Shorty's dead. Jim Bowen's dead. It's a jigsaw on this ranch. It's going to get us one by one. You loco maverick. Get back to the barn where you belong. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean no harm. What's the matter, Clyde? You act kind of jumpy. Oh, loco rubbed the fur the wrong way. Horse ought to have kicked all his brains out instead of just half of them. Hey, that niece lives way back in Chicago. What did she know about a cattle ranch? Oh, I don't know. All right, fellas, right over to the corner.
Was murdered by a man named Tom Cameron. In his will, he left you the Diamond J.B. Ranch.
I've inherited a cattle ranch?
Yes, but I don't rightly know whether that's good luck or bad. You see, that country out there is infested by outlaws, and most of the outfits are fighting amongst themselves. That's how come your uncle to be murdered.
But what am I going to do, Mr. Murdoch? I don't know anything about a ranch.
Why not sell it? I think I can get you an offer of $15,000 for the Diamond J.B. Ranch.
$15,000? That's a great deal of money.
It's a heap of money, all right. Now, if you'll just sign this power of attorney, I'll handle everything for you. What are you waiting for, Miss Deering?
I'll be in a hurry about selling.
You'll never get a better offer.
Mother made me love a country I've never seen. And be ashamed to give up without even trying.
Well, don't forget to look me up when you get out there. Case Murdoch is the name.
Why didn't you bring the covered buggy?
I only done what Clyde told me to do. Yes, sir. You'd be better off, bitch. Turn around and go right back to town.
Why did you say that?
I don't know. I forget.
You must have had a reason. You haven't seen that quickly.
I don't think very good sometimes. The horse kicked me in the head. Yes. Yes, sir. I'm Clyde Barton, the foreman. These two boys work for the outfit.
I suppose you hardy Westerners don't mind a little rain. But I would have appreciated a little more consideration. It's all very new to me, and I hope I can count on your cooperation. And there's no reason why everything shouldn't go on just as it did while my uncle was alive.
You want his high mealer on down to the bunkhouse. The new boss won't want to trip over a long-legged cowpoke every time she turns around. You work for me. Like the idea of it. See you later, boy.
Good night, Mr. Barton.
You know, I had you figured out to be a sour-faced old maid. Pretty near the biggest mistake I ever made in my life.
Is that important?
Well, it could be. You know, a woman don't stand any chance in this country unless she's got a man to do her fighting for her. These cow outfits are feuding with one another. There's a gang of outlaws over in Wagon Wheel Gap that's got the law whipped to a standstill.
Why are you telling me all this?
Well, you need a husband to do your fighting for you. I don't know where you could find a better one than present company. So you think I'm a joke?
I'm sorry. It struck me funny, the idea that I should give my heart and hand and my ranch to the first man I saw.
This may not be so funny, when all you've got left is your heart and your hand. Never knew Jim had any kinfolk.
I guess he didn't brag about us. He was angry at Mother because she married an Easterner. He was much too stubborn ever to make a move toward a reconciliation. But his death wiped out all past resentment. Such a terrible way to die. To be shot in the back by a cowardly assassin.
Yes, I can understand how you feel.
I never thought I'd desire the death of any man. But a murderer like Tom Cameron deserves no mercy.
It's the way the law feels, too, but might be wrong, you know.
You know this country fairly well.
As well as anybody, I guess. Why?
It's as dangerous as they tell me.
I don't know what they've been telling you, but ranching around here is no Sunday school picnic.
What about this place called Wagonville Gap?
That's a settlement back in the hills, run by a fellow called Matt Malone. It's a roosting place for all the outlaws and killers.
What do you want?
I smell ham cooking. Yeah, I portioned the ham. I thought if there was any left over, Are you a ghost? Is it, John? Ghost? No, not quite. Sure, a ghost.
Why should you think you're a ghost?
You see, Loco's a little touched in the head sometimes. I heard the judge tell you he used to be hung to the neck until he was plumb dead. And when you see a man walking around after he's been hung to the neck, it's bound to be a ghost.
That explains why you were out in the storm. You tried to steal food. You're a fugitive from the law.
That's what they say. That's Tom Cameron, the lone rider, the man they convicted of shooting Jim Bowen.
You're a murderer and seeking shelter in the house of the man that you killed.
Now, wait. I was convicted of that murder. I did not kill Jim Bowen.
I don't believe you.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way about it, but that's not going to stop me from finding the real murderer. I can't do that very well after I'm hung, can I?
Stay where you are. You'll stay in this room while I send Loco for the men to come and get you.
Don't bother, Loco. You'll be wasting your time. You know, I don't think you'll shoot. I don't think you could hit me if you did shoot. So that puts the odds in my favor. I'll take the gamble. Maybe she won't shoot, but I will. Don't count on me missing. The sheriff would be plumb broken-hearted. You'd miss out on that little hanging date. Feeling pretty brave, aren't you, Clyde? Me not armed. Remember the last time we met? That ain't got nothing to do with me turning you over to the sheriff as an escaped prisoner. You know, somebody's trying to save his neck at my expense. I wonder if it might be you. You'd have a tough time making anybody believe that, even if it was true. Well, I'll take over from here on. I can see you ain't had much experience in handling killers.
Maybe he's telling the truth about not being guilty.
12 men on the jury didn't seem to think so. Start moving. Come on. What's the rush? It's still raining. Never mind about that. You want me to take you in on the boat, or do you want to go in slung over a pack horse? Well, I'll go in standing up, all right, if or when. Someday, after I prove that I did not kill your uncle, I hope you and I can be friends. I have another cup of coffee.
Well, certainly, I'll be...
No, don't bother. I'll help myself. How about you, Clyde? Want a cup? I don't want any. Sure you don't want any? Positive. Oh, go on. Take some. That shot come from the house. Cameron is here. Got away.
You know, somehow I hope he escapes and is able to prove his innocence.
Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't stick out my neck for nobody else. I ain't that Loco.
What do you know that might help prove his innocence?
I don't know nothing. Nothing about nothing.
Why are you afraid to tell the truth?
I'm telling the truth. I don't know nothing. And nobody else can make me say any different.
Go rustle your own breakfast. I ain't cooking no flapjacks for no thieving cayuse.
Ride 'em, cowboy, ride 'em. Ride 'em o'er the prairie. Ride 'em, cowboy, ride 'em till the sun goes down. Mend your broken saddle, tend the lowing cattle. Ride 'em, cowboy, ride 'em, and then we'll go to town. Get along, get along, get along, sing a song of the West. Get along, get along, get along, sing a song. Cowboys love the best. Ride 'em, cowboy, ride 'em. Ride 'em o'er the prairie. Ride 'em, cowboy, ride 'em until the sun goes down. Ride 'em, cowboy, ride 'em. Ride 'em o'er the prairie. Ride 'em, cowboy, ride 'em. Loosen up your reins. Move on, little doggy. Get on, little doggy. Ride 'em, cowboy, ride 'em across the rolling plains. Get along, get along, get along, get along. Have no fear. Get along, get along, get along, get along. Round
I'm Cameron. That can't be anybody else. Hey, partner, we're going to meet our pal.
Ride 'em o'er the prairie. Ride 'em, cowboy, ride 'em across the rolling
What's the idea? We gotta meet a pal here.
Hey, wait a minute. Let me help you.
Thanks, partner. Thanks. Dead ready, what am I doing up here? I ain't going no place now that you're here. This cayuse is going to make me lose my temper someday. Tom, I'm glad to see you this side of that barred window.
I'm going to stay on this side of the barred window, too, until I find the man that rode my horse the day that Jim Bowen got killed.
You can count on me to help you.
I knew I could. The house for a cup of coffee. I spilled the last one, you know.
Sure, come on over to the fire. Good to the last drop.
Right.
I knowed they wouldn't be able to hold you in no calaboose.
Thanks. Would have saved me a lot of worry if I could have known that. Fuzzy, Jim Bowen left his ranch to a niece. I ran into her last night. She's a green tenderfoot. I trust that Clyde Barton about as far as I can throw a bull with a tail. You better drop her around once in a while and see how she's making out.
Ain't you got troubles enough of your own without taking a female tenderfoot under your wing?
No, but you're taking her under your wing.
I ain't doing no such a thing. I've been stewing and fretting on your account until I most lost my appetite. And that's plenty for the time being.
She seemed like a right nice sort of a girl, Fuzzy.
I think you've got a little love in your heart. Tom, where are you heading for?
Wagon Wheel Gap.
Amongst that gang of cutthroats?
They've no right to object to my social standing. I'm as much outside the law as any of them. I'm looking for a murderer. I can't think of a more likely place to find one.
Guess you're right.
Uh-oh. Here comes trouble.
Well, I guess we can give them an argument.
Now, put your gun away. I don't want any shooting. I'll get moving. If they ask you any questions about me, what you going to tell them?
I'll give them all the misinformation they want.
Good. I'll see you later.
Bueno.
Sure use that powder for blasting stumps.
Give it a kiss, bitch.
Let go of me.
Hey, Matt, how come this bully ain't horn broken?
Well, I've never had time to bother with her. I just let her run wild.
Well, I got a little spare time. I'll gentle her down for you.
Get your dirty hands off me.
Head her off, Joel. She breaks that way.
Don't try to be funny. I got no use for you no-account saddle tramps, and I want you to let me alone.
Oh, take it easy. I'll have you eaten out of my hand in no
Don't you
time.
come in here. Stay out of here.
I'd right to a trivium filly like you to be so unsociable. Give me a couple of hobbles, Joe. She's going to be hard to handle.
You let me alone.
What's the idea?
I just don't like to have other people walk on my feet.
Oh, you don't.
I'll bet you'd be a ring-tailed wolf at any kindergarten party. I'll bet you opened your big mouth too wide.
Fella puts up a pretty good fight. Yeah. You know, Curly's no setup.
Now, if you boys got anything else you'd rather do, don't let me keep you.
Who asked you to do any fighting for me?
Nobody. It was my own idea.
Well, I can take care of myself. I always have. And I want no favors from you or any other saddled tramps hanging around here. Oh, you're all alike. A bunch of gun-slinging, whiskey-guzzling tramps. Not one of you's worth the powder to take to blow your head off. Next time, I'll beg you to mind your own business.
You boys get busy and clean up the place.
Howdy, stranger. Howdy. So you people ought to put up a sign to beware of the wildcat.
Seems you don't like some of my customers here.
Well, I can't say they're any too sociable.
Aiming to stop here long?
Why? Make any difference?
No. We just kind of like to know the business of all strangers here. That is, if they ain't just passing through.
I don't ask any man his business, and I don't talk about mine.
Oh, I see. Kind of exclusive, huh?
Yeah.
Well, a fellow on the Dodge might feel that way about it.
Yeah. Might. And when he hits a place where the law doesn't stand ace high, makes folks feel kind of jumpy.
Yeah, yeah. That's right, it might. Here. Pour yourself a snort there, fella.
I don't mind if I do.
Just tidying up a bit. That's always been part of my job.
Why are you afraid to tell all you know about my uncle's death?
I don't know anything.
That isn't true. Someone was condemned for another man's crime. Maybe you're the guilty one.
I didn't do it. I didn't shoot him.
But you know who did.
If you weren't a stranger around here, you wouldn't pay any attention to anything that Loco says. No one ever knows when he's talking sense and when he's talking crazy.
I'm convinced he's shielding the real murderer because he's afraid to tell the truth.
I doubt it. What are you worrying about Tom Cameron's troubles for? You don't even know him.
I've talked to him. He was here.
Here? What was he doing here?
He was hungry and...
Don't let your sympathies run away with your common sense. There's no doubt about his guilt. Everyone recognized his horse, and the glove was found on the spot where he stood when he fired the shot.
You
You got a nerve to show your face on this ranch? Make tracks and make 'em fast.
Well, I came to talk to the boss, not a hired hand.
It don't make sense for a friend of Tom Cameron's to talk big around here.
What's the matter?
Oh, this mangy old fossil helped Cameron's escape after we had him rounded up.
Giving aid to a criminal is a mighty serious offense in the eyes of the law.
You're just imagining things. You don't know nothing for sure. I just passing by and thought I'd drop in and pay you a little friendly visit.
I'm glad you did. Won't you come in?
Sure, I'll sit a while.
I appreciate your friendly concern, but I'm sure everything's going to be all right.
If it is, I'll be very much surprised. Being a woman, you have the privilege of making a mistake or changing your mind. There's no law against it.
Case Murdoch seems to be sort of put out about something.
Please let me decide who's to be a welcome visitor at my ranch. They said you were Tom Cameron's friend.
That's right. No man ever had a better friend. And getting him out of this mess is the most important thing in the world to me.
I know something I think will help you.
Now, what do you know?
A man they call Loco knows something of vital importance about the murder.
Oh, you can't pay any attention to Loco. He ain't right in the head.
But you must take him seriously. I'm positive he knows who killed my uncle. Something is torturing his conscience, and I can't find out what it is.
Well, if he knows anything, he'll tell it or I'll shake his teeth loose.
You're the one in my dreams. You're with me, it seems. By the old Alamo, where we stood by the shore, and we pledged love once more. Down by the old Alamo, river, keep rolling and help me find my love. I'm lonely, I'm miserable. And if you hear my plea, bring her back here to me. Down by the old Alamo. You're the one in my dream. You're with me at sea. Down by the old Alamo, where we stood by the shore, and we pledged love once more. Down by the old Alamo, river, keep rolling, and help me find my love. I'm lonely, find Mr. Soul. And if you hear my plea, bring her back here to me. Down by the old Alamo.
You know, you do as good a job singing as you do fighting. And it ain't often you find that, Colonel.
Well, songs pass away the time when there isn't any fighting to be done.
I see you stopped one. Yeah, but I don't know how bad he's hurt. Take him in the other room and see what we can do for him. Mate, come along.
Watch out for Curly. He's poisoned.
Well, he knows I'm not exactly harmless, you know.
I suppose you've got eyes in the back of your head.
He's all right, come on. Mitch, there's a job for you. See what you can do for him.
All right.
you and me square. Now give us a drink.
Hey, take it easy. You act like you're doctoring a horse.
Well, listen, if I was doctoring a horse, I'd be more careful. Horses are full of count.
Can I come in?
What do you want?
Go tell your pa I got a message for him.
Oh, tell him yourself.
Oh, I daresn't go in there. I don't want that fella Tom Cameron to see me up here.
Who's Tom Cameron?
He's a fellow the law was aiming to hang for murder. But he escaped out of the calaboose.
So that stranger's a killer with a rope waiting for him.
I gotta see your pa. Go fetch him, will you?
All right. And keep this buzzard bait company. You want it out in back.
All right, you stay here and tend bar.
What do you mean by walking in like this?
It's the only way I know how to walk. We're here to give you an invite to pay us a neighborly visit.
That's very kind of you, but I don't believe...
And you know, I'm so plumb full of hospitality that I can't take no for an answer.
Who are you? Is this some sort of a joke?
I'm Matt Malone from Wagon Wheel, and I ain't joking. What have you got on your mind? I was aiming to ask you the same thing. I don't admire to have somebody moving on something I've staked out for myself. How do I know that you had anything staked out? I stampeded the horses and got rid of the JB punchers. I didn't do that just to make things easier for you, you know.
And I believed you, wanted to help you. And all the time you were planning to rob me. And you're a liar and a thief as well as a murderer.
Oh, to keep one man pretty busy. Now, what are you planning to do? I'm going to take her to Wagon Wheel, and you're riding with us. I'll cut you in for a share.
Hey, wait a minute. What's the sense of cutting him in?
You just step outside, I'll explain that to you. Now, you boys can settle your private quarrels on your own time. Not when we're on a job. Come on.
Why are you doing all this?
Because I want you in a reasonable state of mind so you can talk business.
What business?
I'm afraid I can't discuss it here. It's of a private nature, and as I have an office in Wagon Wheel, I think we'd better go there. Come on. Cameron, I said you were riding with us.
Yeah, I heard you.
We're ready. What are you waiting for?
Well, nothing. Let's go.
Come on. Don't let it throw you, Cameron. We must have missed them. Let's go back and see if we can pick up the train.
watch where you're going.
Where's Cameron?
I don't know. Just passed him a ways back. Burning the road. He didn't stop to say where he was going.
I'll get him this time if I have to trail him clear to the border.
Did you say the border?
Yes, the border.
Well, that's what I thought you said. When you get down there, give my regards to the boys in Mexico. Oh, come on. Anybody but home?
Hey, looks like there's been an argument around here. Mitch, take her out back and keep your eye on her.
Come on with me. Make yourself at home.
Thank you. Can't you help me? You're a woman. You must have pity in your heart.
I can't help you. Why should I help you? Got troubles enough of my own to keep me busy. I've lived in this place and been kicked around all my life. I've never had a friend. I never see anybody except the kind of men that decent people want to hang when they can catch them. Outlaws and killers. The scum of the earth. That ain't the kind of a life to make anybody feel big-hearted.
Hello? Oh, still carrying a chip on your shoulder, eh?
What's it to you if I am?
That's no way to act. Come on now, be friendly.
I'm not being friendly with you or anybody like you.
You know, I've an idea you don't mean what you say. Come on, let's sit down and talk this over.
Maybe that'll give you an idea that I mean what I say.
I knew if I made her mad enough, she'd walk out. I had to talk to you alone.
I want nothing more to do with you.
Don't you understand? I couldn't fight against those odds. My only way of being able to help you is to pretend to be friendly with Matt Malone.
Can you expect me to believe that? When I can see that you're a member of the band of outlaws?
Well, I'm safe here from the law until I can prove I didn't kill Bowen. Now, I don't care whether you believe me or not, but I owe you a debt and I'm going to pay it. I left a message for Fuzzy, and he's pretty good at reading signs. And if he gets it, he'll have the whole valley up here. Well, I didn't know you could sing.
I heard what you said to her.
You did? What are you going to do about it?
Nothing. But I think you're a fool.
Why?
If that crowd stampedes up here to rescue her, what'll happen to you?
I can take care of myself all right.
You wasted your time going down there after Loco. He's around here someplace. He brought a message from someone.
How do you know?
I just saw him a little while ago.
Well, I'd better go see him before he gets away.
What do you want of him?
I think he can prove I did not murder Jim Bowen.
If you can prove that, you'll be leaving here, won't you?
You won't be able to see me for the dust.
Thank you. Just give me a chance to get away from here. That's all I ask. I won't be any trouble to you, I promise. I'll go any place you want to go. I'll work for you. I'll fight for you.
I travel best alone.
Yeah, you risked your neck for that high-toned owner of the J.B. Ranch. But I ain't worth bothering about, am I? You'll never get away from here. It's my job to see that you don't. And I'm not going to take a beating on her account. And no rescue party can get through that gap if they're being watched for.
You haven't any reason to feel that way about her.
I've got reason enough. And as for you, I hope they catch you and hang you.
Did you pull that back in?
Loco, what are you doing up here?
I don't think very good sometimes. Since a horse kicked me in the head.
I don't think you're half as loco as you make out to be. Who killed Jim Bowen?
I don't know nothing.
Now stop lying. Who sent you up here with a message?
Nobody sent me. I don't think very good sometimes.
Listen, you brought a message up here just before the raid on the J.B. Ranch. Now, who sent you?
He's not responsible. Don't be so brutal.
He's crazy, just like a fox. You keep out of this. Listen, according to the law, I've already killed one man. Another one won't make much difference.
No. I don't know anything. You can't tell a man for that.
I've got proof that you brought a message to Matt Malone. Now, who's...
I didn't tell him that, Case. I didn't tell him you killed Jim Bowen. Oh.
Case Murdoch, a highly respected citizen, Jim Bowen's trusted friend, and murderer.
Jim found out about my partnership with Matt, so I had to shut his mouth. It was a lot safer not to have any mystery about the killing, and you made a very likely suspect on account of your quarrel with Jim. So I had Loco borrow your horse. That's all there was to that.
You ain't mad at me, are you, Case?
No. But I'm a little bit worried about you now. Take his gun.
I'm glad you ain't mad at me, Case. I always do what you tell me to do.
You've made yourself dangerous to me, and that's bad luck for you.
I've lived through a lot of bad luck.
I don't say you always will. Come on, let's go.
What are you going to do?
It's no concern of yours.
Let him go and I'll find the deed to my ranch.
I don't have to trade with you now.
Listen, sit tight. There's nothing you can do, but don't sign any deeds.
I'll talk to her about that after I get through with you. Loco, you see that she stays in here. Come on, let's go.
Case said for you to stay here.
I hope we can part friends.
Don't cost anything to hope.
You tend to it.
It'll be a pleasure. All right, come on. Curly, what do you want?
I want you to put him where he won't do any talking.
I've never heard no conversation come up from under 6 foot of ground.
That's what I had in mind. You know, the law says he must hang. So why can't we do a neighborly chore for the law by way of variety?
You got any final remarks you'd like to make?
Yeah. Give my regards to the sheriff when he hangs you. You know, I've always thought I'd like to depart in a cloud of powder smoke.
Oh, come on, let's get it over with. Why don't you boys get a rope and throw it over that rafter and tie his hands?
No, wait a minute. I want my hanging done according to Hoyle.
What do you mean?
Well, doesn't a condemned man have a right to a last cigarette?
Maybe we'd better give you a 10-course supper before we hang you.
No, a cigarette's all I need.
You're easily satisfied. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Have you got a cigarette? Thank you. Now, match?
You don't want me to light it for you, do you?
Yes. Oh, thanks. I don't like your brand. There you go.
Nothing, I'm all right.
Hey, smash that door down. See what you can do for us. Come on, you help me pile up the furniture.
I don't feel very good.
Oh, come on. Get back in the corner and stay there. How's she doing?
I always wanted to leave Wagon Wheel, but I didn't expect to go like this.
Well, you're going out to ride in high, wide, and handsome right now.
There's no use, Tom. The place is surrounded.
Get out. When you get a hole big enough to put this acid in, that'll smoke them out. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You better come over here. Now keep low.
That's right. It chokes me.
Keep your head close to the floor.
You say my friend Fuzzy might bring help.
I'm not sure he got my message. I can only hope. When you get your belly full of smoke, come out of there with your hands in the air.
I'm suffocating.
I guess we can't stand much more of this. We'll have to make a break for it. I'll go on away from the back of the house.
You can't do that. You'll be killed.
Be ready to go when I tell you. When they take after me. It's no use. Here comes Fuzzy in the whole valley. I knew he could read messages.
All right. Drop those guns. All right, you can get over there. You heard me. All right, boys, take care of it.
Come on, I may need you.
You got that female tenderfoot here. Now, where is she?
I knew women would get us in trouble. There she is now. Hello, Fuzzy. I had an idea you'd drop around. I'd be like a smoked herring.
I didn't expect you to be here when I arrived.
Nice going. We got Jim Bowen's murderer. You sure have. And there he is.
It's a lie.
Loco, tell him the truth or I'll put you back in that smokehouse. Come on. Who killed Jim Bowen? Come on.
That's the truth. I heard him admit it.
All right, round up this gang and show them to the sheriff. I think he can use most of them.
We sure will. Come on. Get out of here. Get moving. Get along here.
I'm sorry, I guess I was mistaken.
You were badly mistaken right from the start.
Would you pardon us for a moment?
Midge. She's gone.
Well, she always wanted to leave the wagon wheel. Well, Miss Georgia, just turn all your worries over to Fuzzy. He isn't happy unless he's got something to worry about. Well, Fuzzy, so long. I'll be seeing you one of these days.
If you get yourself in any trouble, you know where to find me.
Goodbye, Miss Georgia.
Goodbye, Tom.
Boys, bye.
So long, Tom.
I'm the lone rider on the great divide, all alone, roaming far and wide. When a helping hand is needed, I am ready.
I was hoping that he'd stay.
You can't keep Tom in any one place. You've got the itchiest feet of any man I ever knowed.
With a heart ready, riding on the
The first job I'm going to do here is make that hitching rack longer.
without fail.